Hey friends and neighbors, this is Chuck out at Sheridan Park Farms. Welcome back to the farm. It is turned off hot, y'all. I think it's about 85 degrees and the humidity is about 1,000%. So that puts the heat index about 120. I think that's probably a fair number. We're running over to a neighbor's today to pick up some hay. We do this every year. Go buy hay off of some neighbors. We've got some folks around that make some pretty good quality hay that we buy off of every year. So hang out with us for a little bit. Let's go pick this up. Sandra's going to work on a little bit of supper. Not sure what she's fixing. We'll find out here in a little bit. And we'll talk a little bit about why we buy hay, why we don't make hay, and why I think hay's a scam.
All right, so we're doing supper today. We're going to have pork chops and green beans and mashed sweet potatoes. And for my green beans, I did some home cured fatback this past week. So I'm going to cut a couple pieces of it off and use it in my green beans. See how that goes. Chuck doesn't know I'm doing this, so this is something new. So this is pork belly from one of our pigs, and what I did was I rubbed it in salt and pepper and brown sugar, and then I put it on a rack in a half sheet pan and let it sit in the refrigerator for a week. And so now here we've got our cured fatback, and that's what it looks like on the inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop it up a little, and I'm going to use maybe 2 pieces of it. And what I'm going to do is put it in my pan and render it down. Just a slow saute, just to render some of the fat out of it. And then we'll put our green beans in it. And this is how my granny used to fix green beans all the time. So the next thing I'm going to do is peel my sweet potato. And what you hear rattling in the background is a can of pickled beets that I just finished up. And I'm going to let it go about 5 minutes. And then we'll take it off the stove and it'll be ready. Sweet potato will cook a whole lot faster than a regular russet potato. Won't take these so long at all. They are full of water. Now I'm going to open up my chops. And these are thick cut, 1.5 inch loin chops off of one of our hogs. And these may actually be from the last hog that we raised here on our farm. I'm gonna pat them down here. Get a look at them. They look really good. And what I'm going to do is just salt and pepper them and let them sit on the counter for a few minutes to come to room temperature. And we're ready to put our green beans in. And I've got a stuck jar. And this is how I fix a stuck jar. And it comes right off. And if you've done that enough times, like I have, you recognize the sound, the change in the sound, and that's how you know that the lid is free and ready to come off. Now this is going to splatter. And there we go. And I'm going to add water to my sweet potatoes. Put a little salt in them. Turn them on, let them come to a boil, and then we'll turn them back. Let my fat back burn a little bit. It'll be all right. And when I'm fixing thick pork chops like this, I always give them plenty of seasoning, salt and pepper. But that's all I do is salt and pepper. And they're straight out of the package. They've not been brined. They've not had anything added to them but salt and pepper. And what we'll do is we'll sear them on the stovetop, and then we'll finish them in the oven. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my oven on and get it ready. I'm going to set it to 375. Alright, so we're going to sear our chops now. And then we'll finish them off in the oven since they're so thick. But I'm going to use a little bit of my beef tallow here in my pan. Won't take much at all. So what we want to do is get this thing just raging hot to get a good sear and a good crust on these chops. So I'm going to have to turn the vent fan on when we get ready to stick them in here. And what we'll do is we'll give them about 4 to 5 minutes on this first side, and then we'll flip them, give them 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll stick the whole thing in the oven. And while we're waiting on them to sear, we will season the other side of the chop. And as you can see, I'm really putting quite a bit of salt on them. This is kosher salt. It's non-iodized. Because the thickness of these chops, you need a lot of seasoning to get through that. It's been a couple of minutes. I'm going to check them. Oh yeah, we're looking good. So it's maybe been 3 minutes. 5 minutes would be too long. So I'm going to go ahead and flip them. And you see they've got a really nice crust on them. The way you know when they're ready to flip is if you can grab it with the tongs and it doesn't stick to the pan, then that means it's ready to flip. So if I was trying to flip those right now, they would stick. And I don't want that. I want that good seasoning and crustiness to stay with the chop and not stay on the pan. So we'll give it a couple minutes on this side and then we'll stick them in the oven to finish. I'm going to turn that back just a little. And I'm going to check the second side here. They need just a little bit more. And the reason that's taking a little longer is because I turned my heat back. Alright, I'm going to turn the burner off. And I'm going to stick these in the oven. Our beans are just about ready. Sweet potato got just a little longer to go. So I've got some of my raw milk here that I'm going to dip the cream off the top to use in my mashed sweet potatoes. So as you can see, the cream rises to the top on real milk. So we are going to dip some of this cream off to use in our mashed sweet potatoes. And with a regular mouth jar, it's a little hard. So let's look at the top of this while we dip it out. So there's the cream. It rises to the top of raw milk. And there I got just a little bit of the milk in with it. And you have to do this lightly or it mixes back in pretty quick. It's probably enough. We'll mix some of the regular milk in with it too. Won't take much. We're just about there. And I'm also going to check the temperature of my pork chops. And what we want is an internal temperature of around 125 to 130 degrees. That makes for a nice medium rare chop. Try to go into the center. And we're at about 134, which is fine. So what I'm going to do is leave these out here on the stove top with the burner off and let them sit and think about it for a little while. Okay, so our sweet potatoes are ready, and I'm going to take them over here to the sink and drain them. And I'm going to add some butter. And my cream that I pulled off my milk. Now this is a little dry to me, so I'm going to add just a little more of this milk. And a little more butter. And the other thing I'm going to do is add just a little bit, not much, just a touch of cayenne pepper. It goes really nicely with the sweetness of the potatoes. All right, so here we've got green beans fixed with some fatback, mashed sweet potatoes, and center cut loin chops.
Well, there it is. I caught that one around the strings and picked it up, and it folded itself under, and the whole string, a bunch of string came off of it, but I was able to get it in the barn. So that was 14 rolls, and I think that's probably about all we're going to get in there for right now. I've still got, I think, somewhere between 35 and 40 rolls down in the barn, plus another 45 up here. That gets us at 90. I think that's probably going to be it for today. That's probably going to be it for hay for right now. Because I'm going to put some more up here on this upper side of this feed barn, but I've got a walk-in freezer up here that belongs to another fella, and after he comes and gets it, we'll probably bring that hay that's down there in the sawmill up here, put it up here, and then if we've got any more room, we may get in a few more rolls, but I don't think I think I can get that that's down there up here, and that's probably going to be it, because we're going to end up using that sawmill barn for something else. So for right now, I think this is what we're going to do with the hay. All right, y'all, there it is. Hay in the barn. Glad to get that done. It is hot. I looked on my phone a little while ago, and the weather app said that the temperature was 86, but the real feel, I guess that's with the humidity and all, was like 94. So it is hot out here today. But one thing that is not hot is my feet, and that's because I'm wearing some of these Camel City Mill boot socks. Let me tell y'all, I've talked about these before, and we get so many requests, y'all, for people that want us to, they want to sponsor videos, they want us to show this product, that product, and 99% of that crap I just hit delete. If I didn't believe in these socks, y'all, I wouldn't be telling you about it. I was at a conference for work. I'm in the EMS industry, have been for 30 plus years, a couple months ago, and some buddies of mine that actually watched the channel told me that they had gone over and bought some of those Camel City Mill socks, and they said they really are the best socks they've ever put on their feet. They keep your feet cool in the summer. It's hot out here today. I've been on that tractor, been out here in the gravel. My feet are very comfortable, not sweating at all. You get sweaty feet, you start getting blisters, and you got to take care of your feet, especially whenever you're up working all day in boots. You're on the farm, construction site, EMS, fire, law enforcement, whatever the case may be. I'm going to post a link in the description down below for these guys. Right now, you order 3 pair, you get a little bit of a discount. 5 pair, another discount. 10 pair, I think you get an even bigger discount. But if you're working on your feet all day in boots, even if you're not in boots, if you're just on your feet all day, or you just want a comfortable sock. Sandra's got a pair of the little anklet socks, the no-shows, and she wears those around the house all the time. She says that they're better than house shoes, because these things, I mean, they're cushioned in the heel and in the toe. They've got arch support. You know, my feet hurt if I don't have good arch support. Camel City Mill, I'm gonna post a link in the description down below. Go over there and get you some of those socks. They are, I ain't kidding, they're the best socks I've ever put on my feet. So we've got our hay in the barn. Like I said a while ago, I'm gonna clear out this area up here on the upper side. We'll get this freezer moved, and then that hay that's down there in the sawmill, I'm gonna bring it up, we'll put it up here, and then if we've got a little bit of room left in the front, we may get a few more rolls, but I really think it's probably, once we get that up here, if we do have enough space, it'll probably be maybe another load like that, 10, maybe 14, 15 max. I think that'll fill it up. Hay, to me, it's an insurance policy. That's all it is. It's an insurance policy. Year before last, 2023, around here it stopped raining in September. I mean, it's like somebody turned the spigot off September the 1st, and we didn't get any appreciable rain till up in, man, it was like November. So we had to start feeding hay early. And I remember that year I was scrambling for hay. I was trying to find hay because we were ready to start feeding, and I had very little. I didn't have enough to get me through the season. So last year we found 2 guys that are local that are producing hay, and I'm buying off of both of them. And the reason that I'm buying off of both of them is, and I was telling this to John a while ago when I was over there picking up, if he or Ronald, my other guy, were to get sick, they decide to get out of the business, they have an equipment breakdown, whatever the case may be, I've got a backup. I like both guys. Both guys have good quality hay. I know y'all gonna beat me up in the comments about how it's loose and how it looks like this and how it looks like that and all that kind of stuff. I don't understand how y'all can get that much information from just seeing it on a TV screen, but this is good hay. John, for example, the only fertilizer that he uses is compost. Last year, he said he went back and overseeded with some orchard grass and some fescue. And so this really is, I mean, it really is, it's pretty hay. I can tell because I busted a roll open when I was trying to get off the trailer. But anyway, I appreciate those guys. And hay is one of those things, you know, and it's all, I've talked about this before, it's all context. If you're brand new in the farming, homesteading world, don't think that to be a farmer, you have to go out and make hay. That may not make sense for you. For me, it doesn't make sense. I don't have enough hay ground to do it because of the way we rotate through. Yeah, we could probably set some fields aside and do that, but I don't have enough hay ground to really be doing that. And I don't want to put the capital out to buy the equipment. Was talking to a friend of mine a couple days ago, and he had bought some hay equipment, was trying to get started in making some hay. He had some friends that was giving him some pasture land that he could go in and make hay off of. So he went out and bought, not brand new, but fairly new, decent, good equipment, and he spent, it was close to $30,000 by the time he bought his mower, his tedder, his rake, and his baler. And he had he spent some money on a very nice baler, but $30,000. I can buy a whole lot of hay for $30,000 plus the time. Y'all, you don't realize it takes time to go mow and then kick and then rake and then bale and then move hay. And if you got to have the right weather. And if you're not ready to do that when the weather is right, you can miss a window. Well, y'all know I've still got an off-farm job that is taking up a whole lot of time. And for me, in my context, it just doesn't make sense time-wise, it doesn't make sense acreage-wise, and it doesn't make sense on the spreadsheet from a dollars and cents perspective to do it. Like I say, I can buy a whole lot of hay for what the equipment would cost. Now, if you've been farming for a while, you've got some equipment that, you know, your family owned. You've got some equipment that a neighbor owns that you can borrow, rent, use, whatever. You've got the ground to do it. It's something that you enjoy doing. I don't particularly enjoy doing it. As a kid, I used to load square bales, and let me tell you, and this is different. Square bales, I mean, that'll make a man out of you. But if all the stars align for you and it makes sense for you in your context to do that, then by all means, go do it. Absolutely, I'm 100% in favor, because you may be making hay for somebody like me that don't want to do it, don't have the ground, don't want to put them, whatever the case may be. You're providing a valuable service, and that farmer that's coming over and spending money, I was talking to John about this a while ago, I like buying his hay because the money stays in our community. He lives probably 4 miles the way the crow flies. It's a little bit longer driving, but the money stays in the community. It stays right here locally, and I'm spending it with somebody that I know. I'm not spending it with a multinational conglomerate buying, cow feed in the wintertime. We're feeding hay that's local. It was raised right here. It's the same species, the same forages that our cows eat, so it matches up to them. It matches up to what they're used to. It just makes sense. It just makes sense. But anyway, glad to have the hay in the barn. I need to run back over to John's, take his straps to him, take him a check, get the man paid, and hopefully come back and eat a little bit of supper. So, like I always say, please keep us in your prayers. May God bless you and your families. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks. What have you got here?
It's time to eat.
Good, because I'm hungry.
You get you a pork chop.
Yep. Good Lord. Thing is
about that
size of your head.
Ain't that pretty?
Beautiful. Beautiful. This one of them sweet potatoes from Phil.
It is.
Old Phil. He's my sweet potato hookup, man.
He is. He's sweet tater man.
Yep. And you had me get these beans, and I got them daggum old half runners, didn't I?
You did.
I swear.
So it's your own fault.
I'm more of a Blue Lake man.
So we grew Blue Lakes and half runners last year. Well, no, we got them from.
They didn't do anything last year.
No, we didn't do anything last year. We got our green beans from Holly.
Got them from Holly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she gave us a box of Blue Lakes and a box of the half runners.
Yeah.
And half runners is my favorite.
I like the Blue Lakes. I don't care much for. I mean, they're all right. I'll eat them. Thank you, doll.
You're welcome.